Hi, this is Mayur Bardolia, a success coach, author, and facilitator from North Star Angel Coaching and Spiritual Solutions. I feel blessed and fortunate to share tools, ideas, and insights that can positively impact your life. Welcome to the video. Most people do not stay small because they lack ability. They stay stuck because they only believe what they see. In this video, I want to show you why growth requires movement before proof, and how your faith or belief strengthens your inner power instead of weakening it. I want to talk about faith, not just blind belief or blind faith, not fantasy, but the kind of faith that stretches your capacity, the kind of faith and belief that grow your mental strength, the kind of faith that asks you to move before you have proof or guarantee. So let's dive into it. Most people operate between comfort and evidence. They say, I will move when I feel safe. I will try when I know it will work. I will believe when I see results. I need guarantee. But the growth does not work that way. It is like waiting to know how to swim before entering the water. The learning happens in the water, not on the shore. In other words, it is like waiting to build muscle before lifting the weight. It does not happen that way. The strength comes from lifting. Faith works the same way. Faith means you extend your trust before you see full proof. You trust before the guarantee. You stretch before certainty arrives. And that inner stretch develops your inner power. Now let me explain it with a simple video. Watch this video.
Training fleas requires a glass jar with a lid. The fleas are placed inside the jar and the lid is then sealed. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behavior is now set for the rest of their lives. And when these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example.
So in this video, you have seen fleas in a jar with a lid on the top. The flea jumps, hits the lid, and feels pain, and eventually stops jumping higher. And after a while, even when the lid is removed, the flea still jumps low. It learned that higher jumps really hurt. In the same way, you imagine there is an invisible line drawn around you. I will call it your comfort line, or maybe you can know it as a comfort zone or a limitation. Inside this line, everything feels predictable. Outside it, things feel uncertain. Many people live inside this comfort line or limitations for years, not because they cannot step out, because their mind says, stay where it feels safe. We try something once, it fails, it hurts, and we lower our expectations. We stay safe. We call it being realistic. But often, it is fear wearing the mask of wisdom. Let's discuss in detail. Just because something did not work before does not mean the limitation is still there. If something hurt before your system redraws the line closer. It says, do not go far, or do not go far or that far ever again. Stay within this safe circle. That is normal, but it also limits our expansion. It is like a dog tied to a long rope in a yard. After hitting the end of the rope once, it stops going near that boundary, even when the rope is removed. The memory of resistance becomes the limitation. People do this too. One failure, one rejection, one disappointment, and suddenly the comfort line moves inward, comes closer. Sometimes people around us reinforce this. Be reasonable, stay safe, do not aim too high, you will fall down. But those voices often come from fear, not confidence, not real. Now, here is something really important. Faith is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of doubt. Faith means believing there is no limitation, even if you hit it once before. A leap of faith does not mean you feel no fear. Courage does not mean calm certainty. It means you move forward even when doubt whispers. Let me say it clearly. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. I would ask you to write it down somewhere. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. If you wait for fear to disappear, you will wait forever. And if it feels completely safe, it is not growth, it is routine. Now let's talk about intention. When you hold a clear intention deeply, not just a thought, but as something you feel strongly about something, then it makes a really big shift. When you hold a clear intention, not just in your head, but deeply in your chest, something really good happens and something changes. It feels different. It feels anchored. Think of it like planting a seed. If you hold it loosely in your hand, nothing will grow. You do not see the root immediately, even after you put underground. When you plant it and trust the process, the growth begins underground before you see anything above. Faith develops your inner strength. The same way, faith is trusting in the unseen growth. The more you practice, the smaller the stretch feels. At first, stepping outside your comfort zone or comfort line feels dramatic. Over time, it becomes natural. The more you practice believing before proof, the smaller the leap becomes. The skill develops. Let's summarize what we covered so far, shall we? Faith means believing beyond current evidence. If you only trust and believe what you already see, your growth stays limited. Past experiences redraw your comfort line or redesign your comfort zone and keep you inside familiar territory. You stay within those limitations, and those limitations are often self-created. Faith means stepping beyond that line before proof arrives. Courage means acting even while fear exists. Taking action despite of fear. The more you practice trust and belief, the easier expansion becomes. Now, let me guide you through how to apply this step by step, exactly how I teach in my private workshops and coaching sessions. First, identify your limitations. Ask yourself where you stop expanding. Identify where your comfort boundary is. Where have you stopped stretching? Write it down clearly. Be honest, but be kind to yourself too. Next, question the limitations. Question whether the limitation is real or remembered. Question whether the limitation is the current reality or the past memory. Is the risk still present or is it an old experience guiding you? Is the limitation still real or is it just a memory, maybe created memory? Separate present reality from past fear. Separate fact from the fear. Fear is not always real. Many fears are not facts. Write down the difference between fact and fear. Take one small action that stretches you. Take one small step outside your usual range. Not reckless, slightly uncomfortable. And after that, hold your intention clearly. Feel it steadily and deeply. Not just think about it. If it does not resonate in your chest, reconsider it. Let it influence small action. And finally, act as if your goal is possible. Make small preparations. Prepare yourself for success. I repeat, prepare yourself for success. Let your actions reflect belief and faith. You do not need dramatic leap of faith and belief. You need consistent stretching beyond your comfort zone. Your future is not fixed by your past. Your education or your history, it doesn't matter. Your past is not equal to your future. It is shaped by what you choose to trust and act on today. It is shaped by the intentions you hold and the actions you take now. Faith is not fantasy. It is a disciplined belief and trust, followed by a movement, action. And when you practice that regularly, growth becomes less frightening and more natural. I encourage you to start using these lessons and techniques in your daily life. Of course, it does take some discipline to practice this all by yourself. And if there are moments or time when you feel unsure, not disciplined enough, need extra guidance, you feel stuck, you can contact me, your coach, who will guide you through the various processes and teach you additional techniques and tools that relate to you specifically. You may have specific health, relationship, career, money, or spiritual issues you would like to address or fix. And these are best handled in personal one-on-one coaching. You can book your personal coaching, and these sessions can be done online, by email, or in person. You should check out to book personal coaching with me. If you benefit from this video, recording, or a lecture, please recommend it to someone who may find it helpful. I would enjoy hearing your feedback on this video and your experience. Report it to me, and if you like it, share it far and wide. This is Mayur Bardolia, a success coach from North Star Angel Coaching and Spiritual Solutions. If you wish to book a coaching session and workshop or invite me as a speaker, reach out to me at contact@northstarangel.com. I wish you well. May you find peace and prosperity. Have a nice day.